Indeed, you are powerful, as the Emperor has foreseen. Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Zareth Prevails. Today, I want to show you guys this interaction between Vader and Mara with Emperor Palpatine lead. I just didn't have a cool picture with all three of them in, but we're going to show you guys their attempt on a Jedi, on all the Jedi Ray, like a Galactic Legend Ray. And the team isn't super high relics or anything. Mara is just gear 11 with 4 stars, and Palpatine is only gear 12. You guys will have to see for yourselves. I'm going to show you guys some of the mechanics. I'll show you guys the team, and then I'll show you my attempt with my Professor X account. Now, keep in mind a couple caveats. First off, we're going to be playing against a team that has loaded turn meter, which just changes the dynamics. In some ways it's an advantage, in other ways a disadvantage. The other thing that I want to point out is that the character, the person that I'm fighting against, that I'm facing, doesn't have super amazing mods, which is actually a very important aspect to it. But I think this showcases the interaction between Mara Jade and Emperor Palpatine, and of course Darth Vader, really well, and I think it shows some good promise. So without further ado, folks, let's jump in to actual... first, we're going to show you guys mechanics, and then I'll show you the footage. So, we've got Emperor Palpatine lead. Now, of course, the lead is the most intriguing part of Palpatine. He gives everyone extra potency, but then if they inflict debuffs on people, then when an Empire ally inflicts a debuff during their turn, they gain 20% turn meter. When the Sith ally inflicts, it doesn't matter about that as much, but so gain turn meter from that. The nice thing about Mara Jade, of course, is that she works really well with Emperor Palpatine. So she does work really well as a territory war Omicron character, but even if you don't have that, so if the Emperor Palpatine is in the leader slot at the start of the encounter, everyone has extra offensive potency. That's nice. 20% is really nice, actually. And then doesn't really matter about the loyal hand thing as much. But then, or the Jedi Knight Luke in this case, useful pawn. She has the, well, that also doesn't matter that much. But, let's see. Mara Jade has 10% critical chance, crit damage, and offense for each ally with useful pawn, blah, blah, blah. That doesn't do anything. Let's see, she gains a stack of loyal hand. Okay, alright. So, she does that. She has the Emperor's hand. And then, the awesome part about all of this, guys. So, let's see. If Palpatine is the leader, he gains extra turn meter for each debuff inflicted by this ability. So, I guess her first ability is this one that stuns. So it dispels all buffs on the target. It gives stun and vulnerable to the on the target enemy. Then it's an AoE that puts tenacity down on everyone. So she's putting tenacity down on everyone, so she gets a bonus turn, and then she immediately gets another turn here, and Mara Jade gains stealth for 2 turns and 1.25 turn meter for each debuff inflicted by this ability. So she gets all of this stuff. She gets a bunch of turn meter anyways, regardless. But then if Palp is the leader, he also gains a bunch of turn meter for each debuff. And the debuffs that it inflicts are really nice: offense down, shock, and stagger. So she's getting a lot of turns because her AoEs do all these debuffs based off of his leadership, giving her a bunch of turn meter. Palpatine also gains a bunch of turn meter. And then, on top of that, whenever she does a basic, then Palpatine also assists as well. So, pretty nice stuff. She's pretty good with Palpatine. Of course she is. And then, you have TIE Fighter Pilot. His AoE is pretty nice because it gives buff immunity, and on the target, he also inflicts ability block. That's not something I paid a ton of attention to, honestly, the ability block, which is actually not the best thing. I should be paying attention to that. He also, on his basic, inflicts tenacity down for 2 turns when he crits. And then, of course, Vader's kit. I mean, but you guys will have to read it yourself. There's a lot of cool stuff. And then Thrawn, of course, has his diminished fracture. But so let's go. I'm going to show you the very tail end of the fight that. Well, I'll show you a little bit more than that of the fight that led up to it, just so you guys can have some context. So let's go do that first here. Whoa, don't know what that chime was, but it's pretty epic. All right, so we've got bounty hunters here. We're trying to. Here's the context, guys. We just need to kill Rey, I mean, we need to zerg her down. So, all right, here's the problem though. The weakest character, we're using Bosk lead. The weakest character here is Poe, and Poe he's damage immune, so we can't actually, he has to come out of damage immunity for us to actually get our contract so that Mando can actually take someone out. So that's an unexpected snag that we just hit. And the idea is, if bounty hunters could just kill 1 or 2 characters, then maybe we could use the Palp Vader team to maybe kill a couple more. But as you'll see here pretty soon, okay, so Bosk is gone. And then watch, okay, so yeah, we still can't damage. Gosh, I keep saying Poe, but it's Finn. We needed to damage Finn. But okay, we can get the contract now, though Mando is dead, or he died once. Okay, so we finally got the contract. The problem being, okay, let's call to assist here, but Mando did a crit on someone who was inspired, and that's something I didn't pay attention to. And because of that really weird interaction, whenever you do a crit to someone who's inspired, who has that blue buff on them, then you dispel your own buffs on yourself. So Mando doesn't get the disintegrate, and now we're just totally up a creek here. There's not much recourse here, folks. Maybe we do some damage, but what I wanted to do here, the reason I stuck around is maybe they would be on a weird cooldown situation. So, I mean, that's what we're walking into here. I mean, everyone dies here, and it's tragic. Goodbye, grief. Good grief. I don't know how grief can be good. I guess it can help sometimes. The grieving process can. So that's what we're walking into, guys. And I thought maybe I'd have done at least, they'd have kept a little damage on them, but they look pretty whole here. So remember, though, their cooldowns are in a weird place. Their turn meter's in a weird place, and it's not the best modded team. So no attempts at disingenuity, guys. But I thought this was a cool interaction that you'd want to see. So right now, the idea here, my strategy going in, was we want clean one-shot kills with Vader if we can, which means the first round of Merciless Massacre is just ability blocks, and then after that we do another Force Crush so that we get our Merciless Massacre a little bit sooner, because you take that bonus turn after Merciless is over with, then you do the AoE, and because it's Palp lead, then you get another bonus turn because of all the debuffs that you've imparted upon them. So here we are. We got some ability block on everyone, some tenacity down on a few of them. Finally, our Gear 11, not too well modded Mara Jade gets to go. And we don't want to get damage immunity on any of them. We want Vader to just one-shot kill all of them. And so, that now she's got stagger on everyone. I don't know if I mentioned that she does stagger, but it keeps everyone from taking a ton of turns. And then, remember, if everyone's got shock, then I should have showed you guys. So, a couple cool things. First off, he gets a 2-turn stun off on anyone who has shock. If he lands the stun, though the shock does disappear. But then also, when you put shock on someone, if everyone, depending on how many characters have shock, he gains 20% turn meter, I believe, for each character who has shock, which means he can kind of just take multiple turns. Okay, we got the Culling Blade on Finn and took him out, which is pretty fancy if you ask me. And now it's like, can we do that again? Can we take someone else out as well? Okay, Merciless is over, so now we can do another Force Crush. Keep getting those debuffs on people, and now can we just kill Finn or Poe? Poe has a ton of debuffs on him. May as well try. So, all right, we got the Hero Bros out, which is nice, looking very nice. And okay, we can do the stun on Holdo, I suppose. get stagger on everyone. And remember, Hoda is available for we could hit him if we want, because Merciless Massacre takes him out of stealth. So so far, like, Rey hasn't taken a turn, I don't think, because she has Fracture from Thrawn, so we keep doing our specials and reducing her turn meter, I believe. I believe that's why she hasn't taken a turn at all yet, because Thrawn keeps reducing it through Fracture. So it's not an entirely broken mechanic, guys. Alright, so she's going to take another turn. I guess that's... so it took out Holdo there, which, you know, we're getting there, guys. We're actually doing some damage. Can we get Rey into damage immunity now? That's the next question. Can we take her into damage immunity before she does her ult? So we did, in fact, get her into damage immunity. Now, we just want Vader to take another turn, and Culling Blade Hoda clearly didn't pan out the way I wanted to, but we also don't want Hoda to take a turn and put Master's Training on her. So, alright, Fracture is over with, so I guess we can just do a basic. And I'm hoping that we didn't gain so much turn meter that her AoE just one-shots everyone. That would be tragic. So, probably with Vader, probably should have gone in ability blocked Hoda there. Though I guess I'm going for ability block on Rey, which doesn't work. It's not going to work. I don't know what I'm thinking here. Okay, so almost the whole team is just gone. Vader is Relic 7, so he barely survives. Barely. So, what can we do? Can we just Culling Blade him? Do we want to Force Crush and potentially get him into damage immunity? Okay, kill them. Nice. Somehow Mara is still alive, actually. That's pretty strange how she's still alive. But look how close we are, guys. We came real close to just taking Rey out entirely. And then, of course, we cleaned up with Mon Mothma, which you guys can watch if you want to stay tuned for that video. It'll be out in probably a week or so. You guys can see the full attack of the guy placed 4 Galactic Legends on his bottom zone, which is obnoxious because I didn't have anything to beat them with. Except we did kill the ads here. You guys can find out how we did later. Gear 12 Mon Mothma, though, cleans up Rey, kind of. Guys, let me know what you think. It seems like maybe Vader is going to be a counter to Rey in the future. I mean, this is a pretty shaky, sketchy Darth Vader team, but we managed to use the mechanics pretty well, I feel like. This seems like it has legs. I mean, maybe Starkiller just does it better. I don't know. There's also things like there's no Jedi training Rey on the team. There are problems, of course. I'm not saying that this is perfect, but it's some pretty cool interactions, and it's worth noting that you can do some cool stuff, guys, even with low gear against really high gear, if you're well modded, etc. So let's move on, guys. Thank you all so much for watching, and remember that in all things, Zereth prevails.